Empathy means feeling for someone else's situation, you know? So if you're in a bad situation, I can feel like, hey, I understand some of what you're going through, and that empathy helps me maybe fight for you and support you. So empathy is a very important thing to have for other people, because if we can't have empathy for other people, we don't really understand their situations and we don't think their situations are important. But when you have empathy, you think about your situations, think about other people's situations being important. In terms of bullying, it was a regular part of my life, because you can't tell right now while I'm talking, but I'm actually a stutterer. And so there was a time in my life where I couldn't even get 2 words out without long breaks in between the words, you know? And I had to get help for that. I had to do a lot of practicing and all of that. And luckily I had good supportive people around me who helped me move forward. But unfortunately, the people who support you in your life aren't around you all the time. And so you have to figure out, well, how do I deal with those people who are not being supportive of me and are making fun of me? You know, I could have just fell for the people making fun of me and just figured that, well, there's nothing in life that I can do because I can't talk well. You know, I can't get 2 words together. But instead, what I did is I decided I was going to spend more time with people in school or people in my neighborhood that were supportive of me. You know, I could have easily started bullying other people because I was being bullied. And a lot of times that's what happened. Bullies bully because they have something about themselves that they don't feel good about. For me, it was my stuttering. And I could have gotten really, really angry. In fact, I was angry for a long time about the stuttering. And I used to fight, you know, but you can't always give in to that anger. And you have to figure out how to turn that around so you can basically tap into that happiness that you have inside. A lot of times we don't feel like we have that happiness inside because, you know, things are happening in our lives that we can't always control. And the stuttering was something I couldn't control for a long time. But what I decided to do is that I said, I'm going to decide for myself not to be a mean person. And when I decided not to be a mean person, I found that I got a lot more help, and also I found ways to help myself more. And that's what's important. And a lot of times we don't think about that. Sometimes, you know, we let the anger overwhelm us. And I am so grateful for organizations like this because it helps you find mentors. It helps you see other people and figure out other ways to handle things that are happening in your life that may cause you to be angry or sad. And that way you can take yourself out of that anger and sadness. My journey. And then also when I was in high school, being Black and you know, wanting to go to certain colleges, my guidance counselor, there was no encouragement there. They said, hey, you know, you want to go to Rutgers, and guess what? You need to think about another school, you know? But again, I could take those things and say, hey, I'm not good enough, or I can say to myself, I am good enough. But the thing we have to remember is that when you say you are good enough, then that means you want to try to do more of the right things, you know? Sometimes we get angry because people tell us we're not good enough, but what we go out and do is we do things that ultimately hurt us or hurt the people we love and care about, you know, because we think that that's going to take care of things in the moment, you know, but it may not take care of things in the moment. It's like, you don't always have to measure yourself against other people, you know, just like my happiness is measured against me, you know, your happiness is measured against you. And it's whatever you feel like makes up happiness in your life. That's one of the things that's beautiful about us, is that we make a way. You know, we definitely make a way. And that comes with supporting one another. And also it comes with a foundation of not bullying, going back to your topic of bullying is that, if you perpetuate a culture of bullying, then basically nobody wins. Nobody can get ahead. You can't form alliances and form a team with somebody else, So what's important is to look at the things you have in common with other people, see how you can come together and see how you can create something. I take my cues from a lot of different people and places. I take cues from people I may meet on the street and talk, because sometimes you have your best conversation with people you don't know. And you just talking about, and I can talk about things that I may not talk to somebody close to me about, and I get encouragement from them. I learn something in that moment that I'm able to move forward. So that's another thing I think that we haven't been doing enough of, is that we just don't talk to people on the street like we used to, and I think we need to get back to some of that. And I think that's some of Nora, what you're trying to do in terms of Boston Police, is to bring those conversations back. So when you walk out your front door, you talk to your neighbor. You talk to your neighbor. You say hi to somebody walking down the street and strike up a conversation while you're waiting for the bus. Those types of things. And so that's what I gain my strength from. I gain my strength from, when I go outside in my house and I see, people over the fence, I say hi. And we may strike up a conversation, Mm-hmm. Sometimes people think I'm crazy these days for doing that, but after a while, people see that, wow, that has value. You're making some connections, but also for me, it's valuable because I get to hear different perspectives about things.
Absolutely.
It makes me happy to let kids know that I care. I have grandchildren, so I got, plenty of kids. But in terms of kids that are outside my family, I think it's important to be visible. And it's important for you to hear from me to say, hey, I love you and I care about you. You might not see me personally, but I make sure that I know people like Claude and other people that are doing the good work out here, that they're reaching you all. And I try to do my best to make sure that I'm helping as much as I can.